Jack Donovan stood on the precipice of a new chapter in his life, his mind plagued by the haunting image that had arrived in that mysterious package. The photograph had shattered the fragile peace he had fought so hard to regain. The figure in the photo was Sarah, his former partner and lover, presumed dead for years. The questions flooded his mind. How was she alive? What had she been involved in all this time? And why had she resurfaced now, in the wake of their victory against the Nexus? With a sense of urgency burning within him, Jack delved into a relentless pursuit of answers. He traversed the darkest corners of the city, navigating a web of deceit and betrayal that seemed to stretch its tendrils further than he could have ever imagined. His first lead took him to an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of town, a place that held a cryptic connection to Sarah's reappearance. As he stepped through its decaying doors, he couldn't shake the feeling that he was walking into a trap. The air inside was heavy with dust and lingering echoes of forgotten secrets. Jack's footsteps echoed as he cautiously made his way deeper into the darkness. Flickering beams of light cast eerie shadows on the dilapidated walls, creating a macabre dance that mirrored the tumultuous thoughts in Jack's mind. Suddenly, the silence shattered. A single gunshot echoed through the warehouse. Instinct took over as Jack dove for cover, his heart pounding in his chest. He listened intently, his senses heightened, and it wasn't long before he heard the sound of footsteps approaching. Emerging from the shadows, his gun drawn and senses razor-sharp, Jack came face to face with a familiar figure, Sarah. Her eyes held a mixture of sorrow, determination, and a glimmer of the love they had once shared. "Jack, I never wanted you to be dragged into this again," Sarah whispered, her voice tinged with regret. "Sarah, what happened to you?" Jack demanded, his voice filled with a mix of anger and concern. She hesitated for a moment before finally speaking, her voice laden with the weight of 1,000 untold stories. "I've been undercover all these years, deep within the organization that birthed the Nexus. I've seen the true depths of their malevolence." Jack's mind spun with a whirlwind of emotions and questions. He had believed Sarah to be dead, lost to him forever. But here she stood, a living enigma. He had trusted her once, and now, he had to decide whether to trust her again. Their reunion was cut short by the sound of approaching sirens. The gunshot had alerted law enforcement, drawing them closer to the warehouse's hidden secrets. Jack and Sarah knew they had to move swiftly, forging a fragile alliance in the face of a common enemy. As they disappeared into the night, shadows enveloping their every step, they embarked on a treacherous journey that would peel back the layers of deception, unraveling a conspiracy far more insidious than anything they had encountered before. The shadows of deception loomed large, threatening to consume them and all they held dear. In a city where trust was a fragile commodity, Jack and Sarah found themselves entangled in a web of lies, manipulation, and unspoken truths that would test the limits of their resilience and reshape their understanding of the world they thought they knew. Together, they would navigate the treacherous path ahead, driven by an unrelenting pursuit of justice, haunted by the echoes of their shared past, and bound by a love that had survived the darkest of shadows. Jack and Sarah found solace in a hidden safehouse, a sanctuary where they could regroup, strategize, and sift through the tangled threads of the conspiracy that had ensnared them both. The flickering lamplight cast a warm glow, providing a brief respite from the storm raging outside. As they exchanged stories, secrets spilled forth, unraveling a tapestry of deceit and betrayal. Sarah recounted her years undercover, her voice strained with the weight of her covert mission. She had played a dangerous game, infiltrating the very heart of the organization that birthed the Nexus. The web of lies ran deep, and their enemies were far-reaching. Together, they pieced together fragments of information, following a labyrinthine trail that led them to powerful figures within the city's political landscape. They discovered that the Nexus was just a pawn in a much grander scheme, one that threatened to plunge the city into chaos and manipulate the very fabric of its existence. Their investigation brought them to the doorstep of an influential politician, a man whose charismatic facade hid a malevolent agenda. Jack and Sarah knew that exposing his true nature was crucial, not only for justice but to dismantle the far-reaching network that had ensnared their city. With careful planning and unwavering determination, they prepared to confront the politician at a public event, a gathering of the city's elite where secrets were whispered behind closed doors. As they slipped into the event, their disguises blending seamlessly with the crowd, they observed the dance of power unfolding before them. Jack's sharp eyes scanned the room, searching for any signs of deception. Sarah remained at his side, her presence a comforting reminder of the unbreakable bond they shared. Their target, the politician, stood on a grand stage, basking in the adoration of the crowd. He exuded charm and charisma, his words carefully crafted to manipulate hearts and minds. But Jack and Sarah saw through the facade, their gazes locked in silent understanding. With nerves of steel, they approached the politician, their purpose clear and unwavering. Their intent was not to arrest him, but to expose him, the first domino in the intricate tower of corruption that threatened to topple their city. As they confronted him, their voices resonated with conviction, each word carrying the weight of truth. The room fell into a hushed silence as the politician's mask slipped, revealing the darkness that lurked beneath his polished veneer. But in the blink of an eye, chaos erupted. Guards materialized from the shadows, weapons drawn, surrounding Jack and Sarah. It became apparent that their plan had been anticipated, a trap set to silence the truth they carried. A fierce firefight ensued, bullets tearing through the air with deadly precision. Jack and Sarah fought with unmatched determination, their skills honed through years of battling the shadows. They dodged, weaved, and returned fire, each shot a testament to their unwavering resolve. Amidst the chaos, they caught a glimpse of the politician slipping away, desperate to protect his secrets. With a shared nod, Jack and Sarah broke free from their attackers, pursuing their elusive prey. Through narrow corridors and dimly lit hallways, the chase raged on. The politician's steps grew desperate as he realized the walls were closing in. But Jack and Sarah were relentless, closing the distance with every passing second. In a final showdown, they cornered the politician, his back against a floor-to-ceiling window overlooking the city. Fear danced in his eyes, a stark contrast to the confidence he had displayed moments before. With the city sprawled beneath them, Jack's voice rang out, firm and resolute. "Your reign of deception ends now. The truth will prevail, and the people will know what you've done." The politician's resolve crumbled, and in that moment, he made a decision that would have far-reaching consequences. With one swift motion, he lunged towards the window, shattering the glass as he disappeared into the night. Jack and Sarah rushed to the broken window, their breaths heavy with disbelief. The politician had escaped, slipping through their grasp like smoke through their fingers. The consequences of his actions remained uncertain, but they knew that their pursuit of truth and justice had only just begun. As they gazed out at the city's twinkling lights, their determination burned brighter than ever. They would expose the truth, untangle the web of corruption, and bring those responsible to justice. The shadows of deception might be elusive, but Jack and Sarah were unyielding in their pursuit. With hearts aflame and a renewed sense of purpose, they embarked on a new phase of their journey, aware that the path ahead would be treacherous. In the face of mounting danger, they stood united, their resolve unbreakable. The city's fate rested in their hands, and they would not rest until justice was served and the shadows of deception were vanquished once and for all. As Jack and Sarah stood at the shattered window, their minds churned with a mix of frustration, determination, and a lingering sense of unease. The escape of the politician gnawed at them, leaving behind a bitter taste of unfinished business. In the days that followed, they delved deeper into the intricate web of corruption, following leads that crisscrossed the city. Each discovery revealed more layers of deception, entangling them in a dangerous game where trust was a scarce commodity. Late one evening, as the city slumbered beneath a blanket of darkness, Jack found himself alone in his dimly lit apartment. The weight of the investigation bore heavily on his shoulders, and he grappled with the unrelenting tide of doubts and uncertainties. In a moment of solitude, Jack allowed his mind to drift, the flickering lamplight casting dancing shadows on the worn walls. He began to question everything, the motives of those around him, the true extent of the conspiracy, and even his own convictions. Amidst the sea of doubts, a voice emerged, a voice that seemed to echo from the depths of his subconscious. It whispered words of caution, urging him to question the authenticity of those he thought he could trust. Was Sarah truly an ally, or did her reappearance hide a more sinister agenda? A monologue swirled in Jack's mind as he paced the room, his thoughts a tempest of conflicting emotions. Trust, a fragile thread that binds us in a world of shadows. But what happens when that trust begins to unravel? When the lines blur, and the boundaries between friend and foe fade? I've seen the darkness that festers beneath the surface, the masks we wear to conceal our true intentions. Sarah, a figure from my past, a love lost and found again. But can I trust her? Is she the key to unraveling the web of deception, or is she yet another puppet master, pulling my strings for her own gain? The answers elude me, obscured by veils of betrayal. And in this twisted dance of truth and lies, the stakes have never been higher. As the monologue played on in his mind, a sudden realization struck Jack, a revelation that would twist the narrative and shatter the fragile foundation upon which he had built his trust. In a moment of clarity, he pieced together the subtle hints and inconsistencies that had haunted him since Sarah's reappearance. The pieces of the puzzle fell into place, revealing a devastating truth: he had been played, manipulated by an intricate deception that extended far beyond the Nexus and the corrupt politician they had pursued. Sarah, the woman he had loved and trusted, was not who she claimed to be. She had been a puppet master all along, pulling the strings to further her own sinister agenda. Jack's heart sank as he grappled with the enormity of the betrayal, the bitter taste of disillusionment lingering on his tongue. The twist had turned the investigation on its head, leaving Jack adrift in a sea of uncertainty. The lines between truth and lies blurred, and he questioned everything he thought he knew. But amidst the betrayal, a fire ignited within him, a determination to expose the true puppet masters, to uncover the twisted motives that had ensnared him in this treacherous game. With newfound resolve, Jack vowed to navigate the labyrinth of deception, to confront the shadows that had threatened to consume him. The game had shifted, and he was determined to be one step ahead, unveiling the truth that lay hidden behind the veils of betrayal. As the city slumbered, unaware of the storm brewing within its depths, Jack prepared to embark on a perilous journey, a journey where trust was a luxury he could no longer afford, and where the true nature of the shadows would be revealed. The game had reached a critical juncture, and Jack Donovan, fueled by a mix of vengeance and resilience, would not rest until the puppet masters were unmasked and justice was served. The twisted dance continued, and he would play his part, determined to reclaim his shattered trust and emerge victorious from the shadows of deception. The revelation of Sarah's betrayal set in motion a relentless pursuit as Jack Donovan, fueled by a mixture of anger, betrayal, and a thirst for justice, vowed to unmask the puppet masters manipulating their lives. Leaving behind the remnants of trust and love, Jack delved into the dark underbelly of the city once again, following a trail of breadcrumbs carefully laid by Sarah. Every step brought him closer to the truth, but it also heightened the danger that lurked in the shadows. The chase led Jack through a labyrinthine maze of hidden alleys, abandoned warehouses, and secret hideouts. As he wove through the city's intricate network, he couldn't shake the feeling of being watched, of unseen eyes tracking his every move. Finally, the trail led him to an old, dilapidated theater, a relic of a bygone era, its faded grandeur now a haunting backdrop for the final act. The air inside was heavy with anticipation, crackling with a sense of impending doom. Jack stepped through the theater's decaying doors, his senses heightened and his gun drawn. The flickering stage lights cast eerie shadows on the worn velvet curtains, creating an ominous atmosphere that mirrored the storm brewing within him. And there, standing center stage, was Sarah, the true puppet master, her gaze cold and calculating. She wore a mask of deceit, her true intentions shrouded in darkness. "Jack, you've finally arrived," Sarah's voice echoed through the empty theater. "I must say, you've proven to be quite the resilient player in this game." "You played me, Sarah." Jack's voice was laced with a mixture of anger and disappointment. "But the show ends here. The truth will be revealed." A sinister smile crept across Sarah's face as she raised her hand, gesturing towards the shadows that encased the theater. "Oh, Jack, you still have so much to learn. The truth is a malleable concept, easily distorted. And in this twisted game, you are but a pawn. The shadows stirred, revealing a hidden army of mercenaries, their eyes devoid of emotion, ready to carry out Sarah's bidding. Jack knew that this was a battle he couldn't face alone. But just as hope began to waver, a flicker of light emerged from the corner of his eye. Lisa, Jack's trusted ally and a brilliant hacker, stepped out from the wings, her determination matching his own. "We stand with you, Jack," Lisa declared, her voice resolute. "Together, we'll bring down the puppet masters and expose their malevolence." The theater erupted into chaos as the fight to the death commenced, a battle waged with guns, fists, and a determination to protect the truth. Jack and Lisa fought side by side, their synergy a testament to their unwavering bond and shared goal. The air was thick with gunfire and the clash of bodies, the echoes of violence reverberating through the theater's hollow halls. Each move was calculated, each shot fired with a precision honed through years of fighting against the darkness. Amidst the fury, Jack's gaze locked with Sarah's, a gaze filled with a mix of rage, sorrow, and a determination to expose the depths of her deception. Their eyes spoke volumes, words unspoken but understood, a battle that extended beyond physicality, delving into the realm of shattered trust and broken hearts. In the final moments of the fight, as the dust settled and bodies lay strewn across the theater's floor, Jack and Sarah faced each other, bloodied and breathless. The weight of their shared history hung in the air, a dance of love and betrayal that had brought them to this precipice. With one swift movement, Jack lunged towards Sarah, their bodies colliding in a final, desperate struggle. The fight to the death had reached its climax, a battle not just for survival, but for redemption. As they grappled, each blow a testament to their shattered bond, the theater's ornate chandeliers swayed precariously overhead. The fate of their destinies hung in the balance, teetering on the edge of a precipice. And in a defining moment, the chandelier crashed down, its shattered fragments reflecting the shattered lives entwined in this deadly game. Silence engulfed the theater as the dust settled, leaving only the whispers of what could have been. But the true puppet masters remained hidden, their identities obscured by the lingering shadows. Jack, battered but undefeated, vowed to continue the fight, to uncover the faces behind the strings and expose the grand puppet show of corruption that plagued the city. As he stood amidst the wreckage, Jack Donovan, the relentless detective, carried the weight of his resolve like armor. The twisted dance of love, betrayal, and deception had not ended, it had only evolved into a new act. And with unwavering determination, he would embrace the challenge, driven by an insatiable hunger for truth and justice. To be continued.